Flex your business with an American Express Business Gold Card. You'll earn 4 times membership rewards points on your top 2 eligible spending categories, like transit and electronics, each month, on up to $150K in combined purchases per year. Plus, you can now earn 3 times membership rewards points on flights and prepaid hotels booked on AmexTravel.com. Terms and points cap apply. Learn more at americanexpress.com/business-gold. Amex Business Gold, built for business by American Express.
Be honest. When's the last time you had a homemade meal? We get it. Between meetings, workout classes, and the kids' after-school sports, who's got time to cook? That's where HelloFresh comes in. No matter how busy you get, HelloFresh has everything you need to get an easy, home-cooked meal on the table. With flavor-packed recipes like Parmesan herb-crusted salmon, you'll be filling your kitchen with the cozy aromas of a homemade meal in no time. So go ahead, try HelloFresh. It's homemade, made easy. Learn more at HelloFresh.com.
I knew it. Another Hurrdat Media production.
Hi, Chantel.
Hey, Roxanne.
Chantel is going away, y'all, again.
I know.
So where are you going today?
I'm going to Mexico City in actual Mexico. So this one is definitely a little bit more like I need my passport. I need all the things, you know?
So where the Real Housewives of Miami went last time.
Oh, yeah. And we're actually staying in their hotel, you guys.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's cute. So I don't remember it, but I'm assuming it's nice.
Yeah, it's like, at the end of the day, it's like a city. So like, I mean, when you think Mexico, sometimes we all think like tropical, and like we're going to like the New York of Mexico. So it's more like shopping, museums, and things like that. So not
living your best life while I'm at home on 4 kids, 2 snow days in a row. And
I know my girl who blow dries my hair, like I'll usually get my hair blow dry before these, and she's like, I can't keep up with you. I was like, no one can. No one can.
I know. Well, I mean, that's honestly so nice. We're all very, very jealous of you.
Yeah.
It's been a miserable couple of days here, but you know what? It's okay. It's okay. So we're just we're getting through it, and the kids finally have school tomorrow. So it's crazy because it's January 22nd, and I think my kids have had school a total of like 5 days in January.
I know. It's so crazy because like, what do you guys do in the summer then? Like everyone freaks out, but then in the summer
camp.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not fun, but we have a lot to talk about today. So you guys have insisted that we talk about New York. All of us collectively have agreed, let's stop talking about New York because it wasn't really good. But the season finale did have, it was big. Everyone was talking about it. So it's one of those things where Andy typically teases and it never follows through, but it was actually interesting and something to talk about, controversial, I guess, and really sad also. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Beverly Hills. We are going to do Salt Lake City on our Patreon because Chantel is out the rest of the week. And so we won't have enough time. And then we have an update on the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively stuff. So we're going to start with that. And I'm going to put a thing in the description. If you guys aren't following that, just forward over, just look at the description and you'll know the minute mark to forward to skip this stuff. If you haven't been following, which I feel like everyone really has been following and has been really into it, but you just never know. So I don't want to inconvenience anyone. So I sent Chantel right now, actually, the video, the slow dance, because I knew her ass definitely hasn't seen anything. So I don't know, Chantel, did you watch the whole thing? It was like, I sent you the 2-minute version.
Yeah.
Okay. So in Blake Lively's lawsuit, she states that, part of the sexual harassment was a scene that they were slow dancing and Justin Baldoni went out of character, kissing her, making her uncomfortable, saying she smells good. That was one of the examples of sexual harassment. I have the exact thing that she says. It says, on another occasion, Mr. Baldoni and Miss Lively were filming a slow dance scene for a montage in which no sound was recorded. Mr. Baldoni chose to let the camera roll and have them perform the scene, but did not act in character as Ryle. Instead, he spoke to Miss Lively out of character as himself. At one point, he leaned forward and slowly dragged his from her ear and down her neck, as he said, it smells so good. None of this was remotely in character or based on any dialogue in the script, and nothing needed to be said because, again, there was no sound. Mr. Baldoni was caressing Miss Lively with his mouth in a way that had nothing to do with her roles. When Miss Lively later objected to this behavior, Mr. Baldoni's response was, first off, it says Miss Baldoni. This legal letter should not have an error like that. But it says Mr. Baldoni's response was, I'm not even attracted to you. So what did you think about the video when you watched it? I'm sure everyone has seen it by now.
Yeah, like, I mean, if I was just watching it without, like any of this lawsuit stuff, like I would just think like, oh my God, they're being awkward as co-workers, like, or like actors and actresses, like trying to get the scene of them slow dancing. Like they don't know what to do. So they're like talking and like, just like talking about their life because it's like an awkward scene of them just like slow dancing. I didn't see anything inappropriate because at the very end, he goes cut. So like, it was all for the film and like for them to like chop up and like use whatever they wanted to do for that scene.
Yeah. And well, it's
What'd you
so
think?
funny because in this, she says that there is no sound. She also says that he breaks character and he kept talking when it was a dialogue where they were not supposed to be speaking. But when you watch it, she's the one who says, she feels very awkward. And so she says to him, me and my husband, when we slow dance, we like to talk. And so she does that fake laugh that she does she did it throughout the whole movie, which was very scary because
which I think like, like sometimes when you're on, like if I knew I was like being videotaped, I would start like laughing because maybe they can use that. Like, haha, like, like they're like slow dancing. They're
right. Because you're right.
In character.
Exactly. Because they're in character. But what she said was he started talking in a scene that there shouldn't have been talking. They didn't discuss talking, but you saw her saying, let's talk because my husband and I talk. And then he was like, me and my wife just look at each other and she's like sociopaths. And then he's trying to just play in character. I actually felt like he was kind of irritated. He didn't seem like awkward and uncomfortable to me. He just seemed like he was acting. And what else ended up happening
and then like, if he got out of character, then what was your character when you told him he needed a nose job?
Yeah. And that happens too.
Yeah, was that supposed to be her character or was that supposed to be your, Lily? And no, that was you guys both were talking like you guys were just like out of character, but it was just for the slow dance like scene.
I think to me, the most shocking thing is in the lawsuit, she's saying that he was the one who started it when, again, she started it. So I'm like, how do you have the balls to do that? Like, how do you have the balls to say that when you are feeling awkward and uncomfortable? So you're like, this is just awkward to just slow dance. Like, let's talk because that's what me and my husband do. And he's totally like, no, he does go by her neck and he's in character. And she's like, I smell like a spray tan. And he's like, you smell good. And she's, again, like Chantal said, she's laughing because she's knowing they're recording this. It's, they're supposed to record this several scenes to put it in the movie, which they did, obviously not of them talking. And she's the one who we see break out of character. So, and then she goes and Chantal brought up how their noses touch each other. And she's like, she awkwardly starts bringing up how, he needs a nose job and he needs to take a month off. And that's how long it would take because Blake Lively got a nose job. But that was just so weird to me. And you could tell he kind of got annoyed and he kind of threw Jenny Slate under the bus. He's like, well, that's why we cast Jenny because we both have noses like that. But you could tell like he was probably low key, like, shut the hell up. Because this is after all this annoying stuff with her too. So following this video that shows she lied in her lawsuit, Blake Lively and her attorney, they now come out and they say that they're thrilled that Justin Baldoni released it, saying it proves her point. These people are literally trying to gaslight us here. They say the video shows Miss Lively leaning away and repeatedly asking for the characters to just talk, which again, her lawsuit claims that he broke out of character and was the one talking when they shouldn't have been talking. Then they say,
at the end of the day, you're filming a scene as boyfriend and girlfriend, even if you just wanted to talk and like as a director, as whatever. And he's saying, no, we have to do more. We have to touch our noses. Like you do it for the scene. You do it for the scene.
She's saying that he didn't talk. He didn't say that we have to do that. But
it doesn't matter. You're recording. You're recording for a movie. Not everything is talked through. You're not going to say, right now, I'm going to kiss your neck. So I hope you feel comfortable. I'm touching you right now. And you're not like, no one does that.
Yeah. And then the attorney says any woman who has been inappropriately touched in the workplace will recognize Miss Lively's discomfort. They will recognize her attempts to try to deflect the unwanted touching. No woman should have to take defensive measures to avoid being touched by their employer without their consent. The way they're making a mockery of people who actually go through this stuff, they are fucking actors, okay? You are an actress. This is what you signed up for. So I am
He's
so
not
confused.
doing this. He's not doing this behind cameras. He's not doing this not mic'd up, okay? It would be freaking weird if he grabbed you on the side and you guys weren't practicing, like if you guys weren't mic'd up and not on cameras for you to be like, hey, let's practice slow dancing, and then he touched you on the neck. That would be weird, okay? But you guys were in front of people. There was all the people behind you, like what are they called? The people that like
The crew.
You know, the other actors and actresses that are just there slow dancing to like do the scene. You have people all around you. It wasn't this like weird thing that he's trying to get away with it and to kiss your neck.
Yeah. So despite Blake Lively herself saying she was thrilled that Justin Baldoni released this video, a few hours later, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds then demand that a judge gag Justin Baldoni's lawyer. They both file a letter in court Tuesday, and in it, they ask the court to issue a protective order to stop Justin's lawyer, led by Brian Friedman, from engaging in improper conduct, including going on an alleged harassing media campaign against Blake and Ryan. They say that he's violating court rules that stop a lawyer from making statements to the press that are irrelevant to a case and might change the jury's mind. But can we remind everyone that Blake Lively handed the New York Times a 70-page complaint in hopes the complaint would influence the public to go against Justin Baldoni. Now Blake and Ryan are demanding that Justin attorneys stop speaking. And I'm also starting to believe that she demanded he send those dailies because she was always planning on doing this, making a case, seeing what the footage was that was there.
I don't, like, if I was their lawyer, I would do the same thing. Like I would say, like, let's try to get their lawyer to stop, because they know low key makes them look bad. So they don't want anything else out there.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I only sent you the 2-minute one. There's a 10-minute one. Okay. And I watched the entire 10-minute raw video of Justin and Blake, and they're both supposed to be slow dancing, acting in love. They're both in character. You can tell that Blake comes across as awkward. She says she wants to talk. We talk about that. And for those who say, because there are some people saying Blake Lively was uncomfortable during slow dancing, I didn't catch uncomfortable. I felt she was awkward. I felt she came across insecure. And then I remember this interview she did where she had said she always followed the no nudity rule for her roles. So she said in an interview, I always find nudity distracting. I'm very in love with my husband, but if there's a pair of boobs out, I'm a human being. You're like boobs. It doesn't mean I'm lusting for them, but when there's naked boobies, you look at them. So she talks about how she almost passed on the role, but requested to read the script. And she said if she liked the script, she would talk the director out of having this nude scene. And so this was for a different film that Blake Lively did, where she was trying to control it. Clearly that movie, it was that movie where she was blind. I don't even know what it was called, but they still did that scene. So the director was like, get played. We're not going to do what you want. But it tells me that she's uncomfortable in those scenes because she's like, I really love my husband so very much. I don't want to do scenes like this. People are going to be looking at it. So I feel like she's very awkward in these scenes. But when you're an actress, these are the things that you do.
I know, but like, why would it be so awkward when you're just slow dancing? I mean, I would be awkward. I'm not gonna lie. Like anything like slow dancing with another person and just like slow dancing with your own husband's awkward sometimes. Like we were just talking about it. Like, so like it's okay if they both looked awkward. That doesn't mean that he sexually harassed you and vice versa. Like it's okay that they felt awkward.
Yeah. And to me, this interview that she says where I don't want to do nudity. I don't want like people basically looking at my boobies. I love my husband and I'm going to try to talk this director out of it. It tells me that she's uncomfortable with these type of scenes. She's also fell in love with every single person that she's acted in, basically. She hasn't been in a lot of movies, but I mean, she was in Gossip Girl with Penn Bagley. They ended up dating. She, I don't know if you No, Wolf of Wall Street. She actually interviewed for Wolf of Wall Street, and that's where she met Leonardo DiCaprio. They started dating. And then Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, they do that movie, that Marvel movie that no one watched. He was still married to Scarlett Johansson. They fall in love during that, and then they start dating and get married. So a lot of people are saying it was clear as day that she was into Justin Baldoni. I don't know if you think that, but that's what people are saying. But I'm just wondering, Chantel, does she really think we're that dumb? Like when this video comes out and it proves that she lied in her complaint and she acts like she's thrilled, and then she's like saying that the lawyer needs to shut up. She's still fighting this, and I'm just confused. Like, do you think that she's going to come out with something and we're all going to be like, oh,
yeah, I'm waiting for it. Like, I'm waiting for the smoking gun. I'm waiting for something to be like, holy shit, we were in the wrong, because like no one would act this way.
Yeah. And did you know Colleen Hoover deleted her Instagram account?
No way.
Yep. Following the video that came out yesterday, Colleen deleted her Instagram.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I mean, listen, if you're going to go this far, the proof is the proof. The facts are the facts. You have to show it all. You can't go into this battle without like not putting it all on the line. And that's a chance you're willing to take. You're willing to destroy your reputation. You're willing to destroy the movie. You're willing to do all these things. And like, that's on you.
do you think that Colleen is regretting anything or no?
I don't know. I'm sure she's regretted giving the movie to Justin, because like, look what, like she has like all this bad luck with these movies.
Are you looking for a partner that truly gets digital? At RHOBH Marketing, we were born digital. It's not just what we do, it's who we are. From cutting-edge AI solutions to innovative advertising strategies, we lead our clients into the future with technologies that deliver real, measurable results. With over 15 years of lasting partnerships, we're proud to help businesses achieve their goals and maximize ROI every step of the way. If you're ready to take your marketing to the next level, visit hurrdatmarketing.com today. RHOBH Marketing, where digital meets results.
Yeah. So you think that she's still very much like Team Blake? Like
Yeah,
she's
for
not
sure.
regretting. Oh, okay. Because I mean, deleting her Instagram, I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe so.
Or she's just trying to remove herself from the narrative. Like, even though she's very much involved in a sense, she just wants to say, like, I'm not the one, suing anybody. I want to be put away from
ma'am,
it.
you involved yourself, okay? Because anytime Blake Lively made a statement, you followed, reposted, and told everyone to read her statements.
Yeah.
So she's lucky we haven't touched on what her siding with her son, who did some, very shady things. But because I haven't, I know, yeah. Well, no, but she backed him and like whatever. But I haven't looked into it as much for me to even go and talk on it. But yeah. So yeah, y'all, this is some crazy stuff, but we had to update you guys, especially before Chantel leaves, because I'm worried that 10 more things are going to come out by the time Chantel leaves.
Someone volunteers tribute and let Rexian talk with you on the phone, okay?
Yeah, I know. We might need that. So a lot of you guys have been saying we need to know your opinion on the Real Housewives of New York. And I'm just going to get straight to it. It's not an actual recap on the whole episode or anything. But, we haven't been following the episode. I have seen that Brynn has been getting a lot of backlash, a lot of things about her lying that, people don't know. And listen, I don't really understand why Brynn was ever cast. She was not a housewife. She's not an ex-housewife. She has no kids. That's not the premise of the Real Housewives. So I don't understand her character, but they brought her on, whatever. And we have seen moments with Uba where Uba gets very, very heated. So I was like wondering, what are we about to watch right now? Like, what is everyone talking about? Everyone on the internet is going crazy. And basically what happened is we see Uba and Brynn, I think they were in Puerto Rico, Chantel. I'm not even sure. They were somewhere in Mexico. I don't know, but they were on a trip, their girls' trip, and they get into a fight. And basically Uba tells Brynn, Brynn actually said something about like dissecting, and Uba's like, okay, if you want to do that. And Uba does say to Brynn, how did you even basically get on the show? We're seeing a lot of things being talked about regarding the show, which we usually don't see. And she basically implies like you slept with someone to get on the show. And I don't think that's cool to imply and to say, but I know that sometimes when people are mad, they say things that they don't mean. And you can just tell that they were both very much heated. And Brynn basically has like a full-on panic attack. And then she says that she was raped and no one knew about this. And she tells all the ladies while like Uba's, not around, that Uba has known this whole time that Brynn was raped. And she is talking like that about her, saying that she slept her way.
Which is a big, big, big,
yeah,
thing to say.
And she's saying, how hard it is for, an attractive woman to be taken seriously, a Black woman to be taken seriously. And then she tells everyone that she was raped and everyone is like taken aback because, and she says, this is not how I wanted to tell you. But the fact that Uba knows that, and then she is talking about me sleeping my way to get somewhere and talking about the D stuff and all that. And, everyone's like, just shocked. Everyone is like, oh my gosh. And Brynn starts talking about it. And again, I do recall that Aaron had said, I'm like surprised that Uba would know about this before me. I didn't even know about this. And I definitely felt like Chantel Brynn was having like some sort of panic attack and then started just talking about that. And
they were all like drunk at this point. It was like really late.
Yes. And then
like
when
12, and like, I'm sure they've been out all day and like whatnot. And how funny they were in Puerto Rico.
Oh, so they were in Puerto Rico. I wasn't sure. Yeah. So when they all, the cameras end up getting off, we hear, and they're kind of talking about it. They narrate that Jessel goes into Uba's room and she's like, with you saying that, it does look bad because she had told you about her being raped. And Uba goes crazy. She loses her mind. She's like, what are you talking about? She swears on her unborn first child, like basically saying something would happen to my unborn first child if this is true. I never knew that. I would never say that. And I think what happened was Uba was like, wow, they're about to, because look, you can't say anything about like sexual harassment. You can't say anything when someone has been sexually harassed or sexually assaulted. And especially like in Uba's case, it wasn't true that she knew about this. And if it was, everyone would have looked at Uba and they would have canceled her.
Yeah,
they would have immediately canceled her.
She knew the implications of this. She knew what it was going to do for her on the show. She knew what it was going to do for the audience. Like, that's like why too. And it was flat out not true in her mind. And she's like, what the hell? She knew what she thought that Brynn is trying to like basically like plant a seed and just like do all these things. And like, that would make me spiral.
And it made Uba spiral. It made her literally go crazy. And again, for very good reason. So, I mean, what is your take on Uba's reaction? What is your take on Brynn? I mean, we end up finding out that, Brynn was like, maybe I did tell her and she wasn't listening. Maybe and everyone looks at Brynn because yeah, exactly. Everyone looks at Brynn because it's a pattern with Brynn and they're like, this motherfucker is like totally lying right now. She's absolutely lying.
Brynn has, let's take away let's not take away if, she says that she got raped when she was younger or raped. But other than that, she's had a very hard life. And she's even admitted she gets away with situations because she flirts her way out of them or she knows how to manipulate people. And so she knew what she was doing and she knew. So I think it was very warranted with what Uba was doing. They're so sick of it. She just made all the girls, especially the new girls, like Raquel and them, they were all believing Brynn at this point. They feel so bad for her. She knew how to manipulate them. And I think that Uba going crazy was the only way they were going to believe Uba a little bit until Brynn was like, maybe she didn't clock it. And then they were like, holy shit, you're a liar.
Right. Yeah.
I think it's disgusting. It's like, Brynn, enough's enough. I am so sick of her. Even us, you guys, we haven't really watched this season. I probably watched there's only 15 episodes. I probably watched 4 out of the 15. And even in the beginning, I was just getting hives from these ladies. The amount of he said, she said that comes out of this group is literally disgusting. They all need a break from the show. It got to their head way too fast. They're all immature. And I'm sure a lot of it comes from Brynn, but it really is not a good cast. And I really hope they recast them again.
Well, so here's the thing is after it all, Brynn says, Brynn went on Rolling Stone and she's not getting it. She's like,
No,
are we in a,
you could tell she didn't get in the next morning. You could tell that
oh
she
yeah,
tries to, she's just such a, like, she is a victim. Okay. She is a victim, but the way she plays up her victimness all the
she
time.
absolutely does. Yeah.
Yes. Even
She's a certified victim.
she's a certified victim, and I can't handle it. Even at the when they were filming their shots, like for the premiere, or the opening credits, she's like, no one cared about me, no one checked up in me, no one really cares about my good friend. Like, you see Brynn, or you see Aaron check up on you, you see that Jenna checked up on you, you saw that Sai even checked up on you. What are you talking about? Like, they're not all smiling. You're the one that's smiling. Everyone's just here doing a job. Why are you making it seem like they're in the wrong and you're in the right?
Well, why haven't you reached out to RHOBH yet? Like, you're not the victim in this. Like, you absolutely what you went through. Yes, that is. But you were about to get this woman canceled, essentially. And you're not seeing that. You decided to share something. I think, Chantel, because like we're first generation and we are very tough. So like, even we like laugh at our trauma that we've had growing up, but we've never let that define us. And I do see Brynn as someone who's had trauma, and she does use it as an excuse. And there are people who do use it as an excuse and then are forever certified victims. And I do see that when it comes to Brynn.
Yeah, she uses it all her life, and it's worked for her. She became successful. Like, thank God, where she came from and like what has happened. But it's worked for her. So like, why wouldn't she keep using those strategies for her life?
So following the episode, Brynn reacts to her co-star support for RHOBH, and she tells Rolling Stone, that was shocking. You're telling me that in the 3 minutes from when I'm called horrible names by RHOBH, and I'm obviously upset that I somehow devised a plan. It's disgusting that I'm talking about two things that I would hope that no woman or person would ever have to experience: suicide and sexual assault. And everyone's like, Brynn, we feel taken advantage of. Maybe don't use those words to describe the situation. I just feel like I wasn't shown respect. What do you think about that?
No, actually you were. They felt bad for you. Like, Raquel felt very bad for you. They were so shocked, but then it was almost like you were using that as like a thing to the reason why, like, you said that RHOBH shouldn't be, calling you names.
She says,
you didn't. It's like you didn't. It's like know your scene, like know when you're saying something. Like, I wouldn't just like barge into a birthday party, and tell someone like something terrible that happened to me. It's like awkward. It's weird. If you're sitting down, the next morning, and you're having a conversation, and like, you're not drunk, and you're sitting there telling these ladies like a very vulnerable time, it would have taken a way different thing, like a way different reaction from them.
Yeah. Well, Brynn says that she felt better after the reunion. And she says, are we in a position where everything is fixed and perfect? No, not remotely. But at least we're now maybe hopefully at step one. She says that she's cool with Raquel. She's cool with Aaron, who she talks about. She texted the other day. And she's on good terms with Jenna. She says that I think Sai and I still have stuff to work on. I miss my friendship with Sai a lot. And then with Jessel, I didn't realize, but I should have realized I said something that upset her. So I need to work on my friendship with Jessel. And then with RHOBH, she says RHOBH's a great person. She has a heart of gold. I think she loses her temper. Dude, like, I can't. She's like, but she has the most beautiful heart. And at the end of the day, I know I'm also a good person. So I feel like we will get back, but it takes time to repair. And I'm like, you are very tone deaf about this whole situation, because I don't know. I just don't feel that she's taking this seriously at all. And Erin ends up commenting on this, and she says, to say, and because I guess she also implied that her and Aaron are like sisters. She says, to say we are sisters that all of them are sisters. She says, to say we are sisters is quite the reach. We haven't spoken or seen each other in months, other than Brynn thanking Abe for clearing up the intention for the call. I really wanted Brynn to win so bad. I was excited to watch her shine like I am with all my girlfriends. Each woman on the show is special and smart, and I really was excited for us collectively. But Brynn always had all this childhood trauma that I was particularly excited to see her break free from. Yet here we are, an article doubling down instead of saying, hey, I messed up. It's upsetting to read for all of you viewers. Can you imagine how it feels for us? This show was supposed to be fun. It's all I tried to do throughout, yet somehow things kept getting twisted and turned, and I will take ownership that I very much was naive and fell victim to so much manipulation. I swore I wouldn't comment, but this article is so triggering to me and I just can't stay silent. And to all of you trolls, the few I've seen, most of you have been supportive and amazing all season during an incredibly hard time for me. So thank you. Trying to put me in some sort of bucket because of the color of my skin. Honestly, F you. I spoke out when she called Uba an angry Black woman. And I was the one who heard the sexual assault story that night and immediately said, no way, that doesn't sound like Uba. She wouldn't forget that, which led me to say she didn't clock it comment. I am not saying I'm perfect, but I'm fair and I stand up for what's right when it counts. So respectfully, fuck off. So that is what Erin said.
Yeah, which whatever. Like Erin bothers me too. Like she enables. She's such an enabler with their friendship, with the crew, with the whole cast. Like, bye, Erin. You really like. I haven't watched the full season, but bye.
So, and they're basically saying, Chantel, that they will not be like Uba is done with Brynn, but it's like, I feel like the show is done entirely. Like if we're already season 2, this kind of reminds me of, and one of our listeners has said this, the Phaedra, or one of my friends has said this, the Phaedra stuff where, you know, Phaedra kind of implied that Candy had this sex dungeon and did these things and whatever. And it sounds like these people are not happy with Brynn. Brynn still doesn't get it. They're not going to film with her. And then the season was pretty bad as is. So I cannot see this show coming back. Because even if our people are like, I want to see because the season finale was so good, we're not going to see it because they're not going to talk. They're not going to get along. And we can't have another show where it gets that dirty.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So my thoughts,
but like, it's like, I don't know. Did you not get hives from watching them? Like they really irked me. I don't know what it is, you guys. That's never really happened, but all of them.
I actually cried a little bit for Uba just because like I could tell that she knew what was about to happen. And when she like swore on God, like she swore on this unborn child, like her unborn first child, I was like, okay, she's like really mad. And I understood it too. I really did because this is a pattern with Brynn. This isn't like a one-time thing. And the way Brynn kept trying,
but like it's like Brynn, you just took away such like a moment for a lot of people to really like, you know, be there for you.
Empathize,
yeah, like you just like, and it sucks for her too in that sense because like maybe that's what she was wanting, but it was just like wrong moment, wrong time, and like you manipulated a situation that will never it will never be okay again. But did you feel that they kind of like Raquel questioned that if she was telling the truth about the rape, or it was just all about if Uba knew?
No, I don't think
some
that
of them were questioning that.
No, I don't think because I actually think Raquel made it a point to be like, I'm not taking away from that.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't know, for some reason I got the vibe, but maybe I was like, did I miss something? Like, yeah, not just her specifically, but like some of them that I got the vibe that they thought that maybe she was like fabricating or something, but like I could be totally off. And like, I'm not saying that either, just so you guys know. I just thought that I got the vibe that they thought that.
Yeah. I just thought it was interesting that she kept, you know, when like you get caught up, like when Brittany on Salt Lake City got caught up with the picture thing. And then she was like, me and Jared have been, and you try to like deflect by bringing up something traumatic.
It's master manipulation. You deflect, you redirect it, and then you put it on someone else. Like that's manipulation. And she knows how to do this, you guys.
Yeah. And exactly. And that's exactly what she did at the end of the day. So I don't think there's going to be another season. I am going to watch the reunion now because I'm very interested, but it sounds like Brynn still doesn't see the problem. It sounds like
that just goes to show like her and her relationship with Sai. You know, it's like Sai has always saw it and she's like, she just doesn't get it. She doesn't own her shit. And like, I'm never going to trust her.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, so it's crazy, you guys. Crazy. And I think how she's trying to spin this is like, I was sexually assaulted. I almost committed to, like, that's how she keeps bringing that up, but it's like, we empathize with you. And that is a horrible, horrible thing. And we want to hear about that, but that doesn't take away from you. But she's doubling down. She's saying Uba knew. She's still saying Uba knew that she told Uba that. Yeah. And you can tell that, no, I don't believe Uba knew. And I don't think any of the other girls believe Uba knew. So there's that. So you guys, we weren't even going to do this episode, but I told Chantel, I was like, we have to do this episode. Next week, we actually had Anthony from Jerseylicious on. I do want to let you guys know we didn't discuss Lorenzo. We don't want to discuss him just because it's such a sensitive time. May he rest in peace. And we didn't touch on that, but it was very interesting to get his perspective because the way Anthony looked at it as a job on Jerseylicious versus like what the other ones went through, he just had a way different way of thinking about it. So stay tuned for that interview next week. We are going to touch on Beverly Hills, but we're only going to touch on basically the Kyle Dorit stuff. I'm so sorry, we are on a time crunch. And so we are going to touch on that, but
that's just like what happened. It was like that. And then I do think we should touch on the conversation between Dorit and Erica at the end.
Yeah, we can do that. But do you want to go ahead and talk about it?
Yeah, so we get to Bose's house, you guys, and she throws this like incredible event. Like, where are my friends and why aren't they doing this for us? Okay. So they're all just like, sitting, getting relaxed, and Bose brings up to her, like, hey, like, what is this text message? Do you think that was weird for Bose to do to Kyle?
No, I don't think it was weird.
So she's just like, why?
I think Bose is a real one for doing that. She's like, let's get to the bottom of it. There's this text message that you talked about, and you talked about it when me and Dorit weren't around. So now that we're around, let's talk about it.
She really is so corporate. Like, we're like, that's like what we would do. We would bring in the victim, like we would bring in the person that's saying something. I'd like, sit down. You said this. Why don't you show it to me? Let me see it. Like, it's in her nature. So it's really funny. But yeah, so she, right away, instantly Kyle starts choking up and like getting really annoyed, which was already sus right there. It's like, why are you like choking up?
So
sus.
Like,
yeah, but then annoying Sutton gets involved, which makes her even get more annoyed. Then we get to, like everyone's like hiding in the corner talking about it. And then Dorit's like, what's happening? Like, why aren't they saying go talk to Dorit about it? Like, why is everyone talking about it, but not to me? So then finally Dorit is just like, or like Kyle storms off because Dorit's like, what's in text messages? Kyle storms off. She comes back. It's like, I'm leaving. After I do this, I'm leaving. Like this theatrics.
He's like, I love you and PK and your kids. And you know that. I know that you know that. I've been made to feel like I did something wrong sending a text to PK. So I said, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it.
Yeah. I'm going to read it for her. And she's like shaking. Okay. She's like crying. And like, so then she reads the text message out loud. And yeah, like, I think that was it. And then she like leaves, and then Dorit runs after her. And Dorit is like really good about saying like, what you're implying. What you're implying is that like you saying like, I won't say anything that you told me is about me. And Kyle is doubling down and saying it's about production and like not saying things in front of about like maybe stuff that happened with Lisa Vanderpump or like random things. And it's like, shut up, Kyle. You know what you're saying when you say, I'm not going to say anything.
My whole thing is Kyle is so dead ass wrong. And it's like kind of like where Blake Lively is trying to gaslight us. And we're like, Blake, come on, sweets, and we just know Kyle, and we know how Kyle is with Mauricio. And we know if Dorit sent that text to Mauricio, you implying that like, I would never share anything that you tell me. That's it. Your case is done. So just own it.
She looks at Kyle, and then Dorit has this whole, confessional moment where she's like, listen, like, I know, she's like, I'm not saying PK like would text Kyle. She's like, but PK would go out to dinner with Mo, and then they would go back to their house, and Kyle would be there, and they would sit there and talk. Yeah, she goes like, and they would sit there and talk about me. And she goes, how I know? Because PK told me. PK told me that's what they would talk about. So she's like, I'm not dumb. Wow. Like, and she's like, Kyle is just truly wanting to believe that she never did that, but she did do that. And so she kind of did all that stuff. And then, and the whole time, by the way, during the scene, like, Erica's like, she did nothing wrong. She did nothing wrong. Like really like having Kyle's back, which is like messed up because she is friends with both. So it's like, why are you, picking one and saying she did nothing wrong? And so then after like, they leave Bose's house, the only other like important scene really is that Dorit and Erica are having their own little spa day. And Dorit kind of calls her out and goes like, why would you say she did nothing wrong? Or like, what she's insinuating. And then Erica's like, where's the proof? Where's the proof? Like, she's like, why do you need the proof? Like, what do you mean the proof? She goes, there's no proof. So we don't know 100% sure that that's what she meant. And then she's like, come on. And then she's like, get me. And then Erica's like, keep me out of it. Like, I don't want to be in the middle of it anymore. You guys talk to each other, basically.
And Dorit called Kyle's temper tantrum like a cop out. And I do agree with that. I mean, I just wish
Sutton was really mad. That was another thing. Sutton was really mad that Kyle left like that. She's like, it wasn't fair to the group. It was really rude. And she just like walked out. So Sutton's like, I'm going to say something to her.
Yeah. So Dorit on the after show, she says that like she was very upset with Erica, and she talks about that, and she says that hurt. I'm your friend too. And you saying that Kyle did nothing wrong when my feelings are, she did do something wrong. And by the way, Erica, I want everyone to know, would not be okay with that. And she said Erica chose to believe what Kyle was saying because she feels like it's too hard for her not to. And then Dorit
But
says,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, because Dorit did say to her, like, so if it is true, basically, if we did find the proof, what would you say? And she goes, I wouldn't be okay with this. So she did admit that, like, if it was true, it's not right that Kyle did that.
Yeah. And Dorit basically slams like Kyle and she's like, you did something. And if I did that to you, it would not be okay. And Kyle is still like, Kyle's acting like Brynn too. Like, I don't know, Blake Lively, and they're just like doubling down. It's like, stop doubling down. Just say like, yeah, I can see it.
You know what Kyle does, you guys? She goes, this is what Dorit wanted. She wanted everyone to forget why I'm mad at her. And she wanted to throw this out to make her look good. But she's like, so everyone can forget what she did to me. And we're all like, it's all like, what did she do to you?
I'm very
Kathy's back. Like, it's really weird.
I'm very curious if there's anyone who has Kyle's back on this. Like, is there anyone who understands where Kyle's coming from? Like, I genuinely want to know. So please message us if you are, because I want to hear your take on it. Because as someone who's always liked Kyle, I still like Kyle from the beginning, but I don't understand why she's doubling down on something like this. It is very inappropriate. And just like you even bringing up that whole thing about him going back to Mo's and then them talking about it, like that right there, I'd be like, you're done. You're done with me. And it's crazy because Kyle did come out and she's like, I should have, she did an interview recently where she said that she should have taken the season off and like she wished she didn't come back this season.
I mean, that's funny to say now because you're not looking good, but like, how about you just like, she needs to really come in this reunion and say, listen, I'm not a bad friend. I didn't do anything inappropriate. I wish I had just said that, like, what I said is not cool. And I understand where you're coming from, Dorit, and I'm sorry. Like, that's all you need to say because I still don't think like what her text message was that bad. I think her downplaying it and making it like nothing was said and all these things and never showing her is what was weird.
Chantel, I would have been so hurt and I would have felt so backstabbed by you if you said to my husband, who I'm separating from, and you said to him, I have children with him, like,
I would say that to your husband, but guess what? I would still tell you.
And you would tell me everything. You would literally send me all the screenshots.
Yeah,
that's
exactly. Like
that's actually happened multiple times.
Yeah.
That's literally happened in our life.
Like it's between us, but then I would tell you things that you needed to know. But like there are some things that like people should still feel comfortable. Like, it's weird because like Kyle claims they're not the best of friends. So it's like, why is PK coming to you? But like in a situation where someone really does know everything that's happening in your relationship, like I do think that your husband should feel okay coming to me, but knowing that like if there was something that I needed to tell you, I would tell you.
Well, she's saying me and PK have had a friendship for the last couple of years. But here's the thing, Dorit and Mauricio, I guess, have had a friendship the last couple of years. Does that mean Mauricio now needs to vent to Dorit? No, like you would not be happy. That's our whole point is like, you would not be okay with it. You yourself would not be okay with it. So stop doubling down because no one's agreeing with you. I'm sorry, Kyle. Like,
yeah,
this is coming from a Kyle fan. I can't back you this season at all. I don't know, man. The Real Housewives is getting weird. It's getting weird, you guys. Not like Holly weird, but like it's getting weird.
It is crazy how like one text message can like shape the whole season. Like it really gets so petty, but like sometimes I'm here for it and sometimes I'm not.
Are you here for it or not for this?
No, I am here for it. I like this stuff. Because this does feel like real life and it does feel like something that like, a lot of girls would get upset about. And I do think it's interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have for today's episode. We have to record a couple more episodes for our Patreon. Join us on Patreon before Chantel goes because she's going to be out this whole week. So Chantel, we hope you have so much fun. We hate you, but love you. And please don't lose your phone this time.
Adios.
All right. Bye, guys.
Oh, primas. I should be learning how to speak Spanish.
Oh, yeah. Ask our listeners.
I know.
We have so many who teach us things. All right. Bye, guys.